Yeah.
Okay, so what are the challenges that SMEs face in accounting and budgeting?
Yeah, good question actually. Before we go into accounting and budgeting, what I want to talk about is the different elements of it. There is financial accounting, which is bookkeeping. There is the financial reporting, which is talking about balance sheet, income statement, cash flows. Then there's the financial analysis, why is profit going up or down, and then there is the financial management of it. Now, what happens in a company like this startup company or SME is that two things happen actually. One is that SME owners don't have the bandwidth. They don't have enough time to look into all this financial accounting, reporting, analysis, etc. Second issue is that they don't have the expertise. So they might be brilliant in graphic design or marketing or HR or consulting, but they have no idea about how to manage the finance of a company. As a result of that, what happens is, and I've seen it many times, is cash is paid too early or too late to suppliers or to employees. You don't collect cash from the customers on the market. You have a cash problem to start with sometimes. And to top it all, sometimes you also have a profit problem because you don't know how much profit you're making. You have no idea. You have some vouchers in your desk, you pull it out, and that's your accounting. Okay? So you have a basic issue there. I think so lack of awareness, and one thing I've noticed is people don't understand why or how it's so important. Finance and accounting is such important as well as the big business. So that is the biggest challenge that SMEs face initially.
Okay, would startups face the same challenges as SMEs, or do these differ based on the stage of the business?
Good question. I mean, startups and SMEs have they have the same business probably you're talking about, but different stage of life. Startups are very new, they're small, and hence they don't need that much financial analysis or financial management expertise. But they do need bookkeeping and financial reporting. The balance sheet, etc. And also what happens is as you get bigger and bigger, for example, you want to raise finance, you want to go to a bank, you want to go to private equity or venture capital or whatever, they will ask for financial statements in a proper format for many years. So as you get bigger and bigger, the need for financial accounting and budgeting increases. Business planning becomes more important because the risk if you don't do it properly is bigger now. You're not as small as you were before.
At which stage of the evolution do you advise an SME to hire a dedicated accountant versus outsourcing?
That's a tough one. I can't say number of years or know so many employees or revenue or whatever. But I think the thumb rule is that when you start to reach a stage where you cannot rely on just using part-time accountants, come in once a month or twice a month and do your accounts, and now you have so many daily transactions happening, checks to be written and receipts to be issued and analysis to be done. At that point you have to say, listen, I need a full-time guy. Call him a senior accountant or a financial controller or finance manager, you need that person. So that depends on how fast you grow. If you're growing faster, you need that person earlier. If you're going slower, you need that person later. But I would strongly advise get that person on board at the earlier stage rather than rely on part-time accountants throughout the life.
What are some tips that you can give to SMEs in accounting and budgeting?
Tips to give to SMEs in accounting and budgeting. I think given the experience I've seen others in this region, I think one thing is they ignore accounting and budgeting because they don't know accounting and budgeting. They think it's just bookkeeping, hire an accountant for once a month and do it. I think one thing they should do is if you want to become a successful entrepreneur or successful CEO of a small company, you cannot ignore finance. You should know about finance. If you know your own business, HR or sales or marketing or whatever, you should know something about finance. And how do you know about finance? Talk to people, attend seminars, read books, watch something on the internet. There's lots of resources out there. But you cannot afford to be ignorant about finance and be a successful entrepreneur.
Okay. What is the most important ratio or activity that SME should keep their eye on?
Ratio, activity. I think the two things that a SME or any company should keep their eye on is one is cash. How much cash is coming in, how much cash is going out, how much cash do we have? Because I always say cash is king. You can only pay through cash, you can't pay through profits. Okay. And second is profits. How much profit are you making, how much loss are you making? And cash is not the same as profits, although people get confused every time between the two. You might be cash rich but not profitable. You might be profitable but not cash rich. And this confusion is the eternal problem of a lot of entrepreneurs, which is why I say basic financial education is very important. Something like a finance for non-finance executive course is something that they should attend.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Binod.
Pleasure is mine.